Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D Coin Channel, and it's the 2009 Life of Lincoln pennies. 4 different designs up here: the early years, the formative years, the professional years, and the presidency. There were 4 of these coins, and they came out in 4 different ways, so there were 16 of them total. They came out in the San Francisco Mint, where we see the S here. They came out in the Denver Mint, where we see the D here. They came out from the Philadelphia Mint, where we see no mint mark, and then they came out in mint sets. And the mint sets had the regular mint marks on them, but they were satin finish pennies, so they had a different finish than the circulating finish. So 16 different ones. If you're trying to collect all the Lincoln pennies from 2009, you got a lot of work ahead of you. Now, 2009 was the 200th anniversary of President Lincoln's birth. President Lincoln was born in 1809. In 1909, this coin came out. And you can see this is the famous one. If you know about pennies, this is the VDB one. Victor David Brenner's initials on the back of the 1909 1-cent coin. So the Lincoln penny had been around for over 100 years by 2009. So in 2009, they said, let's make it a big celebration. Let's do something we've never done before. Let's bring these pennies in, and let's make 4 different ones to celebrate the different stages of Lincoln's life. So this one here is the log cabin one, or the Kentucky years. Early childhood. It says United States of America at the top. There's a log cabin right here from Hodgsonville, Kentucky. You can see underneath the cabin it says E Pluribus Unum, 1809. You can see the fireplace over here, and you can see down at the bottom it says 1 cent. And this coin has an incredible amount of texture on it. The regular circulating coins, of which this is one from the Denver Mint, weighed 2.5 grams. The satin finish coins weighed 3.11 grams, and the San Francisco Mint coins weighed 3.11 grams. So the satin finish and the San Francisco Mint coins were both brass coins, 95% copper, 5% zinc. All the other circulating coins were a copper-coated zinc, which they had moved to in 1992. So 2.5 grams for the copper-coated, 3.11 grams for the brass coins. For the log cabin or early childhood years coins, they made 284 million of these at the Philadelphia Mint. Mint State 65s worth $12. Mint State 67 plus $850. At the Denver Mint, which this one is, they made 350 million. Mint State 65, $12. Mint State 67 plus $1,800. If you get the log cabin from the San Francisco Mint, it's worth $150 at a proof 70 deep cameo. And if you get the best of the satin finish of the log cabin coins, the Philadelphia one is worth $70 and the Denver one's worth $82. The next coin that they put out in 2009 was the formative years, which Lincoln spent in Indiana. And you can see this is Lincoln sitting on a log reading a book. He has a splitter in there in the mall, and he's chopping wood and taking a little bit of a break. It says 1 cent here down the bottom, E Pluribus Unum. Over here you see the CLV for Charles L. Vickers, the engraver of the back of this coin. At the Philadelphia Mint, they made 376 million formative years coins. Mint State 65, $10. Mint State 68, $3,500. But there are 25 double die reverse varieties. If you're going to try to collect this one, there's some doubling in the hands, there's some doubling in the book. Look for one of the 25 double die reverse varieties. Those are worth up to $500 from the Philadelphia Mint. If you get this coin from the Denver Mint, they made 364 million. Mint State 65, $10. Mint State 68, $3,500. If you get the formative years from the San Francisco Mint, the proof 70 deep cameo is worth $140. And I want to show you the San Francisco Mint proof 70 deep cam, which is on the PCGS website. And here it is. And this formative years S coin is probably one of my favorite coins of all time. It's just incredible coloring over here. You see how it changes hues. It goes from a kind of a rosy red to the yellow. It is just one of the best patinas on any coin you'll ever see. And of course the front's a little bit different. In the front again, that's fine. and this is a Proof 70 Deep Cameo. One of these has sold for around $500. The highest rated PCGS right now, they have them at about $130, but I think for this one they might pay quite a bit more. For the satin finish formative years, they made $785,000, and the best Philadelphia is worth $50, and the best Denver satin finish is worth $130. You could get the satin finish coins in the mint sets, or you could get them in the proof sets. Next up was the professional years coin, and that was the third coin released in 2009 from Life of Lincoln. And this is Lincoln standing in Springfield, Illinois, where he was a legislator and where he gained fame as a lawyer. You can see that there's a J.I. over here for Joe Liskowitz, a D over here for Don Everhart, and we have a really, really detailed Lincoln and Illinois State Capitol here. For the professional years at the Philadelphia Mint, a Mint State 65 is worth $12. A Mint State 68 is worth $2,300. At the Denver Mint, Mint State 65, $12. Mint State 67 is the highest they found, $725. If you get the professional years from the San Francisco Mint, the Proof 70 Deep Cameo is worth $150. And if you get it in a satin finish, it's worth $65 for the highest at Philly and $75 for the highest at Denver. And then finally, they put out the presidency coins, or the presidential years. And this is the U.S. Capitol when they were building the dome. And that's when Lincoln took office, when they were building this dome over the U.S. Capitol. This is a Susan Gamble, Joseph F. Mena engraving. At a Philadelphia Mint, the Mint State 65 of these is worth $12. Mint State 68, $1,500. But here's the highest priced one of all the 2009 presidential years, and that is the Denver, where they made $198 million. A Mint State 65 is worth $12, but a Mint State 68 is worth $6,000 from the Denver Mint for the presidency coin. And I'm going to show you that on the PCGS website. And this is the most expensive of the Lincoln pennies so far from 2009. The 2009 D presidential, and you can see down here it's a Mint State red. And when we talk about the red, you can really see that in this particular coin. Just amazing color in this. Amazing detail. Look at the detail in his beard. See, look at the detail in his face. You will almost never see a coin this good from any year. And then when we get over to the Capitol, you see just the incredible engraving from Susan Gamble and Joseph F. Mena. This coin really brings it out to constructing that Capitol dome. That's why this one goes for $6,000 and is worth so much more than all the other coins from 2009. So that's a huge number for that coin, $6,000 for a 2009 penny. If you get the 2009 penny from the San Francisco Mint with the S on it, the best they found so far is a Proof 70 Deep Cameo worth $130. A satin finish 2009 coin, Philadelphia's worth $70, Denver's worth $75. They made 785,000 of those. Look for these out there. Look for the presidency. Look for the professional years. Look for the formative years. And look for the early childhood years for the Lincoln coins from 2009. Look for them in Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D, San Francisco with the S, and a satin finish Philadelphia and a satin finish Denver for each of these coins. Good luck coin collecting out there from the Big D Coin channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.